What's up guys, this is Timotheus. In this video I'll introduce the Roman gladiator type called Hoplomachus. If you haven't seen the video or introduced the 7 most popular gladiator types of Imperial Rome, I suggest you check that out first. And if you have seen it already, enjoy the video.
The word Hoplomachus derived from hoplites, often called hoplite in English, which is the name of the Greek type of warrior that fought with a round shield and a spear in the renowned phalanx formation. Just like the Thraex and the Republican Gallus, the Hoplomachus is an example of how a defeated enemy of Rome was transformed into a gladiator type.
Let's talk about the equipment. The subligaculum or loincloth and the balteus or belt and the manica or arm guard are the same as those of the Murmillo, the Provocator, etc.
The Hoplomachus, like the Thraex, is a parmularius, or one who carries a small shield. This means he needs 2 long ochrei and not just one short ochrea on the left leg like the Scutari, or those who carry large shields. The upper legs are protected by padded wrappings called fasciae. The cassis, or helmet, of the Hoplomachus is very similar to that of the Thraex, though it has a plain crest without the griffin's head. In his shield hand, the Hoplomachus carried a pugio, or dagger. His shield was convex and did not have a shield boss. It was based on the aspis, or hoplon, that was used by the Greek hoplites. As you can see in these Greek reliefs, the aspis had what is called an argive shield grip, a metal loop in the center through which the arm is passed to grip a second loop near the rim of the shield. Traditionally, a hoplite's aspis would have measured about 90 centimeters, that's about 3 feet, in diameter. But the shield used by the Hoplomachus looks a lot smaller on depictions, and one example found in the gladiator barracks of Pompeii measured only about 40 centimeters in diameter, which is about 16 inches. This is far too small to have the first loop in the center of the shield, so the loops are both near the rim, one to the left and one to the right. The Hoplomachus' shield also appears to be more deeply domed than the original Greek aspis was. The fact that the shield is quite inadequate to keep the adversary at a distance is somewhat compensated by the large hasta or spear the Hoplomachus has in his right hand. It is possible that the hasta was hurled at the opponent at some point early in the duel, or perhaps he had to drop it sometimes, because many depictions show the Hoplomachus without the hasta. This seems only natural, as the spear is quite heavy and impractical to use with one arm for a longer period of time. Luckily for him, the Hoplomachus can fall back on the dagger he keeps in his shield hand when he no longer has his hasta. If the adversary somehow manages to get past his spear point, for example, the hasta becomes useless, and all he can do is drop it and quickly grab his dagger with his right hand. Like the Thraex, the Hoplomachus is most often pitted against a heavily armed Murmillo. When he still has his spear, the most obvious target for the Hoplomachus seems to be the Murmillo's throat and chest area, right between the cassis and the scutum. If he loses his spear, he will need to get quite close in order to stab him with his pugio, but this holds a risk, because at that point he exposes himself more than the Murmillo does. For that reason, it is of the utmost importance that the Hoplomachus remains both aggressive and quick enough to stay in control of the distance between him and his opponent. This way, he doesn't give the Murmillo a chance to strike first. Another possible adversary would be the Thraex. These 2 types both have a small shield which makes them quick but vulnerable. This is likely to result in a very dynamic struggle. It's not very clear because the greaves are not visible, but this appears to be a statuette of Hoplomachus, the one on the left, being stabbed in the neck by a Thraex.
That's it for this video guys. If you enjoyed the video, you can help me out by hitting the like button, commenting, sharing and subscribing. If you'd like to learn more about one of the other gladiator types, click on the links in the description below. This was Timotheus. Thanks for watching.